So many people today, especially the youth, are struggling to sustain themselves. Main reason being the increasing cost of living. Inflation rates are reported at 8.7%, and some of this are affecting us severely. The causes are ranging wide from the effects of COVID-19. We're trying to bounce back from that situation that shattered major economic centers across the world, but also staring at conflicts across the world, the Russian-Ukraine war, which is still ongoing. Over in the Middle East, Israel and Palestine are also engaged in that war that has been taking place since last year towards the end of 2023 and is still ongoing, a case that has been presented in front of the International Court of Justice. But the effects are being felt right to your doorstep. You don't have to look so far to realize the harsh times that we're currently facing. The depreciating shilling is also one of those contributing factors. So what do we do? Rather than lament, what do we do to turn around this situation? I have over here with me CPA Martin Oweru and Ephraim Ocheng. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. And then we can get into the conversation in depth. I'll start from the far end, Ephraim, and then we'll get to Mr. Martin.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm honored. I'm Ephraim Ocheng, a student at Kenyatta University.
All right, welcome to the show, Ephraim.
Okay, thank you so much.
To his right.
Thank you, Richard. My name is Martin Oweru, a practicing accountant over a decade worth of experience, managing partner, Nitram Accountants Africa. We are based here in Nairobi, but serving clients across Africa and beyond.
All right. Yeah. We are aware of the Finance Society of Kenya, which Ephraim is a part of, FSKU, and they are trying to ensure that these conversations on empowerment and finance are ingrained within the university premises and ensuring that students are getting knowledge on how to navigate some of the economic situations they will face or eventually get to participate in after school. Could you let us know a bit of about Nitram Accountants Africa and what you're up to?
Well, as a practicing accountant, our main service is accounting, outsourced accounting services. Then after you offer accounting, you can also offer audit and assurance. Audit is big because there is that which is statutory, there is internal audit, there is agreed upon procedures for forensic audit, for example. Then you can also offer tax advisory. Tax is wide, so it depends which area. And then maybe other advisory services for business growth. That's what we call business development services. So we have clients across the different areas of economy. We have service, we have manufacturing, we have retail, we have professionals, we have institutions, both for profit and not for profit.
Okay.
Public and private. Yes.
All right, that's a wide range of services that you're offering there, which means you are very relevant for this conversation. Let me start straight from a question that I have myself, which is, and also I think many of the youth will relate to. We often ask our elders, was it like this during your time? Yeah. And you know, I know your time as a youth isn't a long time ago. You still look like a youth, probably are. I'm not so sure because it stretches to 35 and you don't look anything above 33. But was it like that when you were, let's say, 23, 20 to 25, while you were in the prime of your youth? Were the times as tough as now, or is it getting worse?
May I say that there is always time for everyone. The youth of my time is different from the youth of you today. And the challenges keeps on evolving. As we were growing up ourselves, we were like, we had harsh, tough conditions to school. But it also depended on your upbringing, your background. So for those who grew from the up country are not the same as those who grew in town. But maybe without so much of disposable, so much to them. So the challenges were different. But what then is the difference is from my observation is the proactiveness of the youths of today. For us, I feel like we were self-driven. We were more creative compared to the youths today. And especially now that I am actively in the urban, I can see how the urban youths are. And especially now also when they come to look for opportunities, either for internship in our office or even the church, the active participation where I worship, I can tell the youths today are not as active as we were. So that's one of the challenges that I would say I have observed, and that affects even the next phase of life.
Okay.
Yes.
Ephraim, if I can
Yes.
get to you now, you're in your first year of campus, which means you're not yet a taxpayer in President William Ruto's spreadsheet.
Yes.
You've though interacted with the economy here and there. Can you feel the tough times, the tough conditions that Kenyans have been talking about for the past couple of years, really?
Yes, sure. The economy is tough, and actually, as a student in Kenyatta University, we feel it. Yeah, economy affects everybody from the young children to the adults. So definitely, I'm feeling the hinge of the economy.
On a personal level, what areas can you point out that you've noticed hapa economy imenifikia? I don't know, maybe you've reduced your smokies intake, or have you reduced your budget? In what areas is that visible?
Yeah, especially on food. Yeah, on a daily basis we require food. Yeah, so you find that the prices of basic commodities such as food has increased. Yeah, also on housing. Most of the people, of the students who commute, yeah, the price of rent has gone up, so they can't really afford, especially most people, so they suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to pay taxes to feel the pinch of the economy, because still it trickles down to everyday need, and expenditure. You mentioned that there's a difference between the youth of your day and the youth of my day, which is you are more self-driven, and you could do things without the need for so much guidance, because you're understanding the kind of situation, the kind of background that you're coming from. If we take a look at the statistics on unemployment today, can we blame the youth of today on the lack of drive and energy? Because there's nothing much for us out there. Can we blame them, really?
Yes and no. Before we came here, we had a discussion with Calvin, and it has always been a big question to me that why spend 4 years standing and then you spend like 1 year plus tamarking, looking for opportunities? What did you do in the course of maybe first year, second year? You were in the making, you were in the formation, but by the third year, towards the fourth year, did you really had your destiny in mind? Did you prepare yourself towards your destiny? For example, you are a BCom accounting. Today, I've interacted with the sector prayers, and they are talking of dual training, especially from the TVETs. And those are more of artisan courses. By the time maybe a TVET course is 3 years, from the first year theory, the second year now you are half class, half in the industry. By the time you are through, you don't have to kind of be taken afresh again. So dual training. For our professionals, the accountants, are we taking advantages of the long holidays? That a holiday is a month or so. Do you have somewhere you can go and volunteer to learn what does it mean to be an accountant in an office? So to us, and this is when we are talking of proactiveness, that today you will hear even my son saying, wash the car, then you get. Must we be rewarded? Can we do something voluntarily towards the growth? We are keeping stock. So in the profession, during the long holidays, can we do dual training voluntarily? During the internship, can we take the internship seriously? Are we doing it in the fulfillment of academic qualifications so that we pass and we get a certificate? Why then spend the 3 months? So today, if you are lucky to get the internship, take it seriously, learn what it takes to be in an office, learn the beyond the books, because now to be in the office, it is beyond books. Actually, we talk of education being residue. It is what you remember that makes you a learned person. So from the first year to the 4th year when you graduate, what would you remember out of the course? You studied accounting. Is there a difference between accounting and finance? So what is your ultimate profession will you be? Is it an accountant? Is it a finance person? There is a difference. So have you worked towards being an accountant, towards being a finance person? So I would say yes that I would blame the youths because they are not taking that. But then also on the other hand, that's why I've said 50-50. Do they have mentors beyond their parents? Do they have professional career mentors that by the time they're in the 3rd year, you guys wake up, take things seriously. This is the dimension that you should take towards your career. So we encourage both the mentors, the parents, to be more proactive, more aggressive towards shaping the youth's career destination.
Right. Being proactive. Ephraim, I am going to shoot this next question to you, and it's coming from also a conversation I was having again with some of my team members here at KUTV, and we're discussing the generation that's coming up, the famed Gen Z. And there's a lack of that proactive approach, initiative. We don't want to volunteer. It took years of volunteering, even for myself, to be here on this show, and I'm sure it's the case for you during your time and many others who can point out. But there's a shift in that kind of mentality when it comes to a newer generation known as Gen Z, which is, we have to be paid for anything that we have to do. Do you realize the importance, and what can we do to encourage that, there's need to do that more than for academic qualifications, as Mr. Martin is saying?
Yeah, that's true. We find that in Gen Z, this generation, most of the people are not self-driven, and it's a big challenge, especially we interact with my friends, some of them, they're not motivated. For example, on the subject of money, they're not motivated. People think that things come easily. They think to make it, to get money, to be rich. It's just easy, something, you just go there, somebody will give you money or something. But it does not work that way. You have to work, you have to volunteer, and that's something which most people don't understand and get it. Most people, when you tell them, volunteer, or for example, start a business, start a small business, you tell them, sell shoes, say, no, I cannot sell shoes. That's very bad.
It's not classic.
It's not classic. I can't say. But you tell them, business is a progress, start from somewhere. So for it, that's a challenge, And my encouragement, or what I'll tell them, you have to, there's a step to everything, You have to start from somewhere. So when it comes to this topic, they have to start, for example, in business or even in academics, You have to be focused, and you must know the destination. Where do you want to be, Okay. And then when you know where you want to go, now start prepare yourself and package yourself in that direction.
All right. It's going to be several steps. Shall pick it up, Mr. Martin?
Yes. I from the start, we were talking of how they are feeling the harsh economics. For him, he's not working. He is dependent, or maybe he's dependent from the parents' perspective. He's being supported by the parents. So it is mostly on the parents that the tough economic times has hit. And for him, you see, and especially in the middle level income families, where maybe the children have not had the sense of lack. Wanaitisha wanapata. So now you ask and you are told, there's a delay of a kind. You don't have that patience to wait because maybe you are not feeling. What do I say now? It's the high time that the youths get to know what are my needs and my wants. So because everyone must now kind of reorganize themselves to fit the budget. So the basic needs, once they are met, then the wants can be shelved. It's not a must. And maybe for the youth are in the wants. And that is why, because the wants have not been met, they say it is tough. This conversation goes, it's more painful to those who have what we may call fixed income. For example, a salary. With increased taxes, and the government must continue taxing or collecting taxes, because government does not do business. Government facilitates the environment, creates a favorable environment, but also at the same time should be fair in introducing the taxes so that they are gradual, not at once. For employees who are dependent on the payslip, that does not increase. So the higher the deductions, the lower the disposable income, and so the minimum of wants that can be met out of that payslip. Business is different, because business has fluctuating levels of income, and as such, maybe as a partner, you're entitled to a salary or even drinks, but it is also dependent on cash flows into the business. So you may say that it fluctuates. So you're able to meet your needs, and at the same time, you may accommodate a level of wants. So if I have a child that I'm supporting, a youth I'm supporting to provide food, clothing, and shelter at the university, I'll be able to look for a reasonable premise to accommodate them. But you may find that they also want the upcoming hostels, which the parent may not. So they want to be with other equal, with their peers. They want to live their life that they are not able to, and so they want so much of pocket money. Is it to meet the basic needs,
Mostly
or
not.
wants? Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if they are saying, they are assisting us to say harsh economic, but they don't have it.
They don't really
feel it. Because even the money they are spending is not their money.
Yeah.
It's the parents' money. So be easy on us, the parents, by putting lower demands. If, for example, here in KU, we have Kawasukari, we have Ruiru, the vicinities. So, and they're affordable houses.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go all the way to TRM, where we are...
To live in Mirema.
Exactly. The high ends of, of the hostels.
Yes.
So, be reasonable. We reason together so that once that time is up, we are good to transition. We start small, we grow.
Ephraim, that you reduce your wants and therefore focus on the needs, because the parents are the ones who are feeling the harsh times at the very first level of it, if I can put it as so. And I'm trying to remember my time. Maybe my parents were strategic in their squeezing of the amount of money that they were giving me, which led me then to try and volunteer here and there, kujituma, ile wanasema kujituma. Should that be also maybe a strategic move from the parents, wapunguze hiyo pesa kidogo?
Yeah, it's a strategic move, which is really important, because when you have to train people the hard way. During even in high school, when I was you are trained the hard way.
Yes.
You are prepared. When you pamper somebody, you give him money. He thinks you'll always receive. So you have to limit the money. You have to take this money for food. Yeah, this only for rent. So that you can plan, you can live within your means. The problem that we are facing, especially as youth, is that people don't want to live within their means. You find that your parent is giving you this amount, but the lifestyle a youth wants to live is way beyond
what they've seen in campus.
Way beyond what they have. So that's the main problem, because that's why you find there are many challenges facing the youth. They complain, they are stressed, because the life they want to live. You can't have 10,000. You can't be having your parents gives you 5,000 even in a month, and you want to own a car. You want to go travel, to go to Mombasa. in Nairobi every weekend you want to go to, it cannot happen, you know. Yeah, it cannot happen.
Haiwezekani.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's the big challenge.
Live within your means. That's a very strong statement there. Mr. Martin, the youth have been advised to create jobs instead of over-reliance on getting jobs, yeah, which means they start their own businesses. And Ephraim was pointing out it's important to start low, not be ashamed of any venture. I know in campus within Kenyatta University, many students who sell sweets, sell shoes, sell clothing items, even within the hostels. How feasible is this approach, given we've had this rhetoric for years? Create jobs. I'm sure even during your time you were told to not rely on jobs and come out here and create job. How feasible is it over the years? Is this something that the youth can take up, and is the business environment favorable even to consider it?
As a practicing accountant, I'm not really I am a business person.
Mm-hmm.
By virtue of I did the ideation of my business practice, and it didn't start from a business plan. It started from, after a business ideation, you get into what we call a business model, which is totally different. Actually, yesterday I was reading my month book, How Google Works. And it was saying, those businesses that start from a business plan, they are planned for fail.
Okay.
Because people think that business is done on paper. On the ground, things are very different on how business starts, run, operate, and they thrive. Start small, you grow big. People tend to think that you will work, or people say niko jua kali. But those who talk of jua kali, later on they realize that the business they thought it was a jua kali has grown out of proportion, and so it requires more input than they ever thought. They thought that it is for myself, I. But you require an assistant, you require premises, you require systems, you require structures, you require even policies to run that business. You require people to support you to comply within the regulatory framework. And as such, and how do you start a business? There are two ways. If you are dealing with service as a business, you need to have earned experience over time, so that you can say, now I'm a qualified accountant, I can offer outsourced accounting services, which entails bookkeeping and monthly tax obligations, which would entail I would serve people in the MRI, monthly rental income, filing VAT, filing ABCD. That is in the service industry. So you, as a youth, you must have been made. You must have acquired experience over time. If you are a fast learner, within 3 years, you can be a person who can be depended on. That is it.
All right.
If you are dealing with products, it's either you have capital, where money will work for you. You'll buy goods and you sell at a margin, and also how to market for products. You have to know your market. You have to know your niche. Who is your target customers? So how do you start business? Two ways. Either from product perspective, you need capital. So do youths have capital? If they don't have, let them be employed. Let them gain experience over time. Let them save. Let them create a seed capital, where then they can boost that either from parents boosting, either they can borrow from the circles. Do they even have a savings way from the time they started off earning? Then from there, you can start dealing with products. Then you build it up. If it is service, have that patience to learn, to gain experience, so that in the service, I only started with a laptop. Period. I only had a laptop, no office, nothing, and a modem. And here I am, serving and being supported by over 20 staff professionals.
Right.
So it is that patience of being there to allow yourself to learn, and so that then you can start off the business. So you can't start business from nowhere.
Yeah.
Even if we have the incubation centers, I know, KU, you have Chandaria Business Center. What do we talk about while we're in those incubation centers? Even if we got seed capital, do the youth have the ways and means of managing this seed capital and scaling it up? Do they have the key do they understand the key components of their business model? What are their key costs? Who are their key suppliers? What are the framework within which their business operates so that they can scale it up?
Right.
So I would say yes, there are those who are lucky to start it off and thrive through, but we need to have some basis of understanding what it takes to run a business. So that then, we don't say that these SMEs, they start and then at the third year they break. They collapse. No, we want to take them beyond where they have structures and systems to grow them up.
Right. And to take them beyond, Ephraim, I understand for young people it will need mentors, as Mr. Martin had earlier actually mentioned when we were beginning this conversation. It's going to take a lot of patience, as he said, to learn, to grow, and some of the issues that people do point out, of course, is that lack of capital for young people to start. And you mentioned earlier yourself that you can start small, which means it requires a little capital that you can do through saving. Given the uncertain economic times, do you find it feasible yourself to save? And if so, what strategies do you use to build up a financial cushion, and that you can advise other young people to also have a look at in trying to get themselves financially secure for the future? And in what ways do you feel a mentor would be valuable? In what ways can they patch themselves in to your life, maybe from your perspective, but generally speaking, the youth? External help, external guidance, in what ways do you think that can be incorporated even within university, within the lives of young people, to ensure they are financially secure for the future?
Yeah, so well, I'll say this. Yeah, when you see there's a situation in the country, for example, economic times, they are very hard, and you see many people complain, most of the graduates, they complain there are no jobs, you watch the television, they say there are no jobs. You can't think the same way, the first thing comes from the mind. You have to change how you think. I can't see when people are working there and they fall, when someone reach there, they fall, and I also decide and just follow those people. It means there's a problem there. So the first thing, you will come and analyze what's the real problem, for the unemployed people. What's the real problem? You find that maybe, and this is the most problem, they don't have the required skill in the market, they just read, PDFs here, lectures, then they reach the market, wonder, it's all the same thing. It's in the papers which required the job. So they have to, and you realize when I say there are required skills in the market, and the ones in the paper require mentors. Those people in those fields, those who are practicing, like CPA Martin, you require them. They are the betters. Like personally, I receive money from my parents, yes. There is a help from the government. When you receive, what do you do with this money?
Go party.
No, that's the big question.
That's what most people are doing.
What do you do with this money?
Go celebrate.
Let's celebrate this over 1-2 weekends, it's over. Come on. But for people, for wisdom costs that when you have such money, you save, put it into your account, and you start thinking, what can I do with this money? Which business can I go into? What can I do? Can I save? Do I have an idea? And you just, in business, you can't just take money and go and start any business. You have to analyze the market. What do the customer needs? You have to go and talk to the people. What do they want? And personally, I also have mentors. I have mentors, people who mentor you. When you have an idea, you talk to them and they'll tell you, no, this do this way, this the right thing to do, this the right way you have to do. So, and it works over time. It's not one thing, you know, meet a person who tells you everything. It is a journey.
Right.
And a journey of 1,000 miles. So step by step, you know, you need mentors that will walk you through the journey until you reach where you want to reach.
Right.
But most of the youth, the problem, they don't have mentors. They just live. They don't even have ambitions. You know, people just live as if they don't have any ambition. You know, they don't have anything they want. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And I think for the universities, I'll say that's a very big challenge. And they really need to work on it, because you realize that most lives are wasted. Even from the KCSE, you realize most people don't even get the minimum requirement to the university. Now you take the number of the students who are at the university, you take the TVET, you know, the vocational. How many people don't end their schooling at Form 4, after Form 4? Where do they go? What do they do? You know, that's the biggest question, and that's what contributes to the high cost of living, high crime rates. You know, because what do? They don't have jobs. They go and burden their parents. You know, the parents school you up to Form 4, up to university, then you go back home. You know, I think the youth need to change how they think, because one of the things I always tell myself, you know, after graduating, I can't go back home. You know, what are you going to do? That you wake up, you know, and your mother cooks for you. It doesn't make sense, you know. So you have to really plan for the future. For example, I'm a first year, yes, but I'm already thinking about after fourth year. What happens after fourth year? Yeah. What will I do? How can I make my money and try to be independent? You know, I stop being dependent from my parents, you know, the government. Because I always say, you know, what the news people are, the government help us. There are no jobs, there are no jobs. And you know, the president just a few days said an important thing, that, you know, jobs cannot come for you. You know, you can't just sleep at home and do
the job knocks
at your door. Come. You want to, no. You have to be aggressive. You know, you have to go for it. You know?
Okay. When the times are getting tough, how does it go? When the times get tough, the tough get going.
Yes.
Yeah, the tough get going indeed. Mr. Martin, there's something you mentioned there very important, and I'd like it to note it, which is this increased cost of living leads to irrational decision making among the youth, and that's what we see when he's saying, you know, crime rate here and there, and security concerns, because this is a large number of people who are idle. They do not have much to do, and they can only resort to some of those shady activities. And there's that also gap or disregard for mentors that he's saying. What could be the issue? Why is it that there's now a lack of mentorship in this current generation, and how can we turn around that situation? I previously, before getting into high school even, mentorship was such a big thing. We used to have mentors come into school to give talks. We used to have students paired up with mentors. I don't think I'm seeing that much of late. I may not have the statistics, but I'm sure, you know, if you look around in campus, if you're a young person, if you ask your friend or 3 to 4 friends, how many of them have mentors? Probably close to none. What is the cause for that gap, and what can we do to make a change in that? That is on mentorship, but also on that issue of irrational decision making, which leads to crime and some of those other activities.
May I say that my observation is that, and especially from an accountant in practice, I've been there in practice, active participation, interacting with my seniors in the profession. May I say that the youth have forgotten that the river has never changed its course. And it will never. So when you go down this side and you see Tana River, the Sagana River, it has followed that course years over years over years. The youth of today, by virtue of maybe studying, they think that they will change the way things have had been done from the past. And as such, there is that tendency of the parents giving up. You're being talked to, and you don't listen. Sikio la kufa,
and
then they forget asiyefunzwa na mamaye hufunzwa na ulimwengu.
Juzi pia wamesema hata usipofunzwa na mamako bado ulimwengu utakufunza.
The only problem is that when the ulimwengu is teaching you, it will be merciless, it will be very harsh, it will be very tough for you, and you may end up losing your life. So why should you then lose your life? What is your purpose? So that proactiveness. So we need to start saying it now as parents, as the mentors, not waiting. I'm happy with my young brother here that from first year he is able to see where he is headed. If he gets a mentor now, he will see the advantage of what we are calling dual training as time moves on. Because I also have other things that I'm doing, and as such, I don't want to be a mentor of a person that I'm pushing. You need to make work easier for me. If I tell you, explore this area, you will need to know, or you will have to have the question of what next course of action? Why did he tell me about this? Why? The use of gadgets is kind of exchanging the platform of continuous engagement. And even if you are in the gadgets, what are you doing on those gadgets? Are you on social media just to follow people, the socialites are here? Or are you doing research? I can say, I also use my phone. And majority of the people I work with in the office are between 24 and 33 thereabout. They are still youths. And I have always challenged them. Anytime you see me post anything on the office platform, it is for you to explore the knowledge beyond what we do, because we are in a very volatile times where information is keeping on changing, and you must remain relevant in what you do. So what value are you adding to your career? Is it the only thing that you read that you are keeping to yourself? So what research are you doing so that you add value to the day-to-day work that you do? As such, mentors are there. Some of us, especially, I'm a Beacon Boy child supporter. So I want to see boys who are active in their doing. I want to see an all-round young man. If it is in the office, for example, I don't want just to see you that you can only handle the laptop. I want to say that you can say something in the office, it can be fixed. If it is your drawer, fix it. So we have the basic tools, the screw, the spanner there. And as such, it means you are no round coming up man. Where it demands a professional will make the food come. But we don't have to call foodies for everything, even in our own very homes. So we need to see that the encouragement of mentors towards you, the youths. He mentioned about the skills of employability.
Yes.
There are professions, there are industries that demand a certain way of presentation. I've seen graduates coming to look for opportunity as accountants, and you ask, where were you headed? Were you going to the market? Or were you going to someone's office?
Yeah, they're dressed up like they have a,
exactly.
a bullfighting race later.
If he's a young man, he's in a round t-shirt, drawn all over. When you look at the shoes, they are sports shoes. They even don't have a belt. How presentable are you? Are you being prepared? This is the work of a mentor, that as you get up, and that's why I said from the first year, second year, he is in the years of formation.
Yeah.
That year you must be real to your destination, career-wise. So start changing, because your parents may not have it. But within the network of your parents, I may be I would like to be associated with your son. I like the way your son presents himself. And where do I see your son? For example, maybe it is that at the church. He is actively in the youth. He is well presentable. I'm a Catholic. So
presentation is important.
Presentation is very key during Mass. So that way, I like that young man. I like that young girl. The way she presents herself, the way he presents herself. Don't overdo yourself. And especially, a youth stage is a stage that is short-lived. There are things you'll do that will hurt the rest of your life. So are you being mentored that maintain yourself? So that then, year 3, long holiday, come, we groom you. By the time you're exiting, you have even boosted your self-confidence, because personally, I even don't look for papers. You tell me you are a graduate of accounting and you have professional course as a CPA. I'll have listened to that. But I want to see your self-confidence, because I will send you to the client. What if you find a firm, tough client and is one of our high-paying clients, and then they ask you the question, and then you're not able to face the client? So how do you start developing these skills of employability? It is by gaining self-confidence. This self-confidence does not just come overnight. It is a journey. It is the work of a mentor. So have you learned this? So the work of a mentor is to go beyond the books.
Right.
And as such, if you have a mentor, then you have no time to do other odd jobs that will cause you to be punished by the ulimwengu.
Yes. Wasiyefunzwa na mamaye, nafunzwa na ulimwengi, na hata bado mama akikufunza ulimwengu haujali tu bado.
Exactly.
Utakufunza tu.
Yes.
Let me get back to Ephraim as we head towards the last few questions I have here. Technology, he mentioned, of course, that this is a generation that is very much in the gadgets. We have all the social media accounts, from Facebook to TikTok to Threads. There's a new social media app coming up, tuko na account pale. YouTube ikifungua tuko pale. We always have to, check out information on every platform. But what are we doing? That's the good question that he asked there. How are you using technology yourself, Ephraim, to empower yourself for the future and for the present, and how more can we do? And the other side of this question is on the threat of technology to the future. I'm not so sure how much far you've thought about it, but there is a recent conversation on artificial intelligence. Just like I'm sure during Mr. Martin's days, when faxes zilikuwa zinatolewa, now we are going to email, and then the automation of some of these jobs of previous days, now replacing a few of those workers here and there. Do you feel a threat, or do you feel there's a way you can integrate it also to thrive as we try and ensure that we are prospering in economic times, however they are?
Well, I'll remind the viewers of the point on generation. During you have to encourage. You have to appreciate the times that we are in. For example, the time of technology during this our generation. Things like phone. I was being told during that time, the old times, they didn't have phone like everybody has a phone. High school, everybody has a phone. So the most important thing is how you use it. This one gadget, the phone, has a lot of importance. For example, if I want to research about a company, I don't have to go physical. For example, a company, maybe let's do it Google. But I don't have to go and visit the offices there in US or somewhere. I just go to the phone, the website, search Google, and what do they do. And that's the importance of this thing. And most of these people, they're just using the phone. For example, those social media. Person will go to the Instagram, like photos, just like, post, just there. And at the same Instagram, companies are advertising for opportunities, There are reels, they advise them, people advise people, the podcasts, they discuss about financial literacy, important things. So, you have to limit yourself, When you have a direction and a purpose that you are fulfilling, you'll always find yourself, you try to align, yeah. When, for example, when you want to, maybe you want to be rich, you see people driving big cars, and you wonder, how can a person drive a 22 million vehicle? You know, you have to know how much is this person earning, what is he doing, and you know, many people say, you know, you can't earn this, for example, a 22 million car from a salary of maybe 50,000. You know, how will you save until you know and you have your expenses? Yes. How will you drive? So you have to know that when you get such a question, you ask yourself, how did this guy get this amount of money, 22 million to buy a car, a house worth 200 billion? There must be something. So start using the internet, you know, research, you know. For example, you know, these people, they mentor, they do a lot of podcasts, you know, they talk. But more people just assume. They say those are very boring things. You know, get a conversation where we speak about money, on what to do, what not to do. And people say, those are boring things.
We'd rather view what the socialites are doing in Dubai.
Those are boring things, they are boring things. And those are the things which most youths need to be encouraged. Okay. You know, to take that. And because right now you can just go to YouTube and, for example, search, you know, about just a topic or, you know, financial literacy. You'll get books, you know. But one man saying, you know, when you want to, Africans hate reading. Africans don't like reading books. You know, when you just put something on paper, they won't read it. And that's the problem with our generation. People don't want to read.
It's getting worse by the day.
People don't want to read these books. I know information is, if a person, you know, writing book is transferring what he has in his brain to the book. And when you get such, you know, you need to really get these things such as books, you know. For example, I read a lot of books. For example, Cash Flow, by Robert Kiyosaki. You know, it has a lot of things. You know, it tell you, you know, how to the quadrants, the small business, big business investors. You know, people need to learn these things such as investment. You know, people don't even know what is investment. They don't know. They don't even understand these things. So you know, we really need to encourage, you know, and I really encourage the stakeholders. Those people already in business, they're successful in the professional, you know, they should also consider this generation, because baton is passed, you know, like the economy, you know, is transferred. You can't just say, you know, a new regime comes and starts afresh, you know, it's passed on. So that's a really important thing. So I think the mentors, you know, the people who are willing, you know, they should also come and locate those people who are pushing themselves.
All right.
Yeah, those people seem they want to get it, they want to do, to learn. Those people who have the drive, locate such mentor. Because if you change, for example, I'm Ephraim, I have my friends, my classmates, the hostel people. So if you mentor me, I also tell my friend, hey,
this is what I was told.
This is what I was told. Let's do this. Slowly start impacting environment. You realize that you have a circle of goal-oriented people. That's how we change the society.
Nice. Yeah. That's very nice. Very well tackled there, Ephraim, actually. And you've handled another question that someone had asked, which was who should approach who? Is it the mentor or the mentee? And, you know, of course, the mentee should have the initiative of looking for a mentor. But, you know, there's a call out from you, from your perspective, that also there's need to identify these young men who, you know, if we don't identify them earlier, kuna mtu anaweza wapoteza. Alafu by the time unaenda kumchukua ashapotea mbali. Isn't it hilarious or ironical to you, Mr. Martin, when this is a generation, as you said, has the most information. Information is volatile, it's changing. So they have, or we have, because I'm still in that generation, we have so much information available to us with our gadgets, with books, but we are the least informed generation at the very same time.
Yeah. Why are you least informed is because maybe your focus is on the areas that are not, the areas that does not matter in your making. So if you are to follow the socialites, for example, and you need to get to know the emerging issues in your area of practice, how then will you know? But if you asked about the whatever, the top, what is trading, you are,
any gossip, you're there.
Any gossip, you are there. So, may I say that it is us who will need to have the self-drive. The creativity and innovation around, because at the end of the day, you'll have to stand. And you have to make your life count. You have to be productive. So, however much you will be supported by your parents, how will you take yourself to the next level? How do you rise above your peers? So I want to challenge as we wind up that mentorship conversation, that we need to be self-driven, we need to take the self-initiative, we need to be creative, and as he is calling upon the stakeholders. The government today is talking about enlarging the market. We are talking Africa Free Trade Area. Have we prepared our accountants? Have we prepared our graduates that they can plug and play in any African country as an accountant? We are too much concentrated in Kenya, and actually majority of us think that jobs are in Nairobi or they're in major towns. But we have other opportunities even in other developing countries in Africa. So when we are even talking of one currency within Africa, when we are talking of those African countries, when we are talking of developing partners, supporting SMEs across East African countries. For example, I always tend to follow up those organizations that have footprints in different countries. And they say, we are supporting about 400 women enterprises. The question I ask myself, at the very minimum, is that they need at least one accountant or a bookkeeper to support those enterprises. Have we mentored our youths that they will be ready to explore those opportunities? Yesterday, I was listening to my vernacular radio station, and the news during the news time was like, the PS labor are encouraging the embassies that as they are out there, as they fish out opportunities there for the youths, they look for what is the job market, what opportunities are outside there. And we have always had, even the time of at the CS Moses Kuria, you had, say, they had an agreement of about 25,000 jobs
created out there.
Yes. So as an accountant, I asked myself, what was the portion of the accountants in the 25,000? And have we mentored those youths that they will not go there and embarrass the profession? Can they go plug and play in the industries they will be connected to as accountants? So have we done what it takes to prepare these graduates towards the career? And you see, that way we will also have to balance that, such that even the issue of the families, once as a young man, and especially a young man, because men are the heads, so they have to remain focused. They have to know themselves, the self-identity of a man, such that when the time comes, they'll be able to also to start their families, because number one, they have supported themselves. They have led themselves. As a young man, have you led yourself? Can you calculate growth milestone of yourself, career-wise and all round? As such, as you grow, then you'll need to grow on other spheres. Like now you get a family. You'll be able to support a family, and you bring up a family in the right way. Because family also has responsibilities and obligations that are to be met. How will they be met? They'll be met out of being productive.
Yes.
So we grow, we expand the boundaries, we be ready to work out of Kenya, and that is where we are going. So because we are expanding the market. So that mentorship need to be all round, not just matters profession or career, but even to be the real person, the moral person that we need to see out there.
to be able to plug and play, as you've mentioned there. And aptly, I think I've also picked up something for myself, which is whenever someone is, or whenever these organizations or the Republic is announcing some of these bilateral trade agreements and collaborations with other countries, whether it's in Africa or outside, it's important to also think from an angle of your skills. This is the agreement Kenya has had with the US. They're doing this and this, so where will my skill be needed here? How can I perfect it to ensure that I'm fitting within these spaces? Thank you very much, Mr. Martin, for that one. And I have here someone from our YouTube stream, KUTV Kenya Live on YouTube. It's Boaz. Boaz is watching from Juja. And Asema, I love the topic at hand, though we have other youth out there and are doing all they can to make ends meet, but their efforts aren't being recognized. Which help can be accorded to such? That's Boaz asking. I think from what I've picked so far, I don't know, maybe you guys have something else to add on that, is of course to look for mentors who are relevant within the skill sets that you have, and to learn what the industry needs. And then eventually, of course, your efforts will be recognized. Ephraim said that, opportunity won't come knocking to your door. They say that it doesn't knock twice, but it won't knock at all if you're just sleeping and waiting to be recognized. I don't know what sort of recognition he means, but do you have anything, gentlemen, to answer to Boaz about the youth who are out there doing all they can to make ends meet, but their efforts aren't being recognized?
You see, what is it that we can't make the ends meet? The challenge of the youth today is to make it big once. And you want to start big once. It never started, it has never happened. So as long as you're able to meet the very basic, be proactive. Some of us started with odd jobs, but that was not your destiny. Listen to very many big people outside there. Some ladies started from being house helps, but they were not destined to that. It is in the meantime,
as I do this,
I'm focused. So be out there. Young men, indulging with drug abuse as a solution to frustration will just take you into deep problems. It will not solve anything. So my encouragement is remain relevant. Associate yourself with the people who matter. Make yourself presentable. And that is why I'm saying majority of the youth don't even go to church. And even when they go to church, they stay away from their parents, from the parents' networks, because even the way they are dressed, they don't want to be. You get?
They don't want to be seen.
They don't want to be seen. But how will you then be supported by the network that is available?
Yeah.
You won't. So how you will be relevant, how you'll be able to make the ends meet is by associating with the people who matter at that very moment, so that any possible opportunity, where is your son, where is your daughter, there is an opportunity coming. But where will you find yourself if you are far away from us? Yes.
That's a very good one.
Yes, and don't choose. Don't choose. And the artisan skills are also very important. Today, if I tell you maybe to handle a saw, to cut a timber, you may not. But for us, even to do a chicken cubicle, we will do it.
Basic skills.
Very basic skills. You are no round young man.
Yes.
So where there is a construction site, you can go and have participate in that. What are you looking for? You are not looking for money to invest. It is for simple upkeep. As you wait, as you proactively engage people to connect you with the right direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't mean if you're beginning a Mayai business, you want to become the best Mayai seller ever.
No. That's just for a time being.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Definitely. Here, good morning, Okenya. Looking sharp this beautiful morning. This is Ashley Asachi. I'm getting insights on how to live within my means from Ochieng. That's Ephraim here. Anasema tutajaribu tu. So umewambia wa live within their means. Ashley Asachi anasema tutajaribu tu. Tuned in from Gong Road. Thank you very much, Asachi, for watching this show here, and continue sending in your feedback. Gentlemen, I think time isn't on our side here. It's 8:40 in the morning. Maybe just to read one more and then get a key takeaway from both you gentlemen. From your perspective, you speak to the youth. What you're doing yourself, maybe to cushion yourself these tough times. Mali umekat expenditure, tuambie ile pia sisi tutoe smocha kwa list, and then Mr. Martin can give us also one takeaway. Charity Njoka, great discussion, CPA Martin. So Charity Njoka giving a shout out to Mr. Martin Waweru here on the set. I'll begin with Ephraim. Utatumalizia hapo. Invite people to FSKU also. You've just come in. I think it's your second semester. When did you join FSKU?
Yeah, in first semester.
First semester. Nice. So for those who are yet to join, please let them know of the exciting things that happened there, and then we get to Mr. Martin.
Well, my encouragement to the youth is this one. Yeah, let's be focused, in what you are doing in life. Let's get the right mentors, Let's try and push ourselves, The economy is bad, yes, but there's something we can do. Let's push ourselves, let's try, work. Don't judge work, I can't do this, I can't do this. Do anything. For example, like me, personally, I have most of my friends ask me, well, how do you manage? In Kiswahili, they say, show us your ways, show us your ways.
Show us your ways,
yeah. So you have to be aggressive. For example, you have to run a bit. In the first semester, for example, we learned something personally, with my friend. You realize that most people are lazy, the Gen Z. You don't want to wash their clothes. And they said, see, then we can do that job. You bring your clothes, you give us a small fee, you go to the laundry, you bring back your clothes. Wonderful. And more people say, no, I can't do such a thing. And you're earning money, You can get money from such things. So you can also go and look at your environment. What can you solve? Which problem can you solve? Yeah. That's my encouragement. Yeah.
Yeah, even the lazy people are a source of income. Yeah.
Yes,
just value what the lazy people need and then offer that to them.
Yeah.
Okay. FSKU,
you see the opportunity like today. You're seeing a young person, a first year student, on a TV show. That's wonderful. That's courtesy of Finance Society of Kenya, Kenyatta University. So to the Kenyatta University students, I would encourage you to join this club. It's a wonderful society. Yeah, it has a lot of opportunities also for internship. Yeah, and for mentorship. It links you from the student aspect, from the community to the corporate world and the marketplace. So I'll encourage all of us. And also, even if you're not in Kenyatta University, you can liaise with us. Yeah, and we'll help you and reach you. Okay. You can reach out and we'll help you.
All right, that is Ephraim Ochieng. Thank you very much for the very insightful tips umetupatia hapa today. I've really enjoyed some of the points that you've made here. Mr. Martin.
Thanks so much for this opportunity. It's a platform that that one would always say in fullness of time. You would always have a platform to say that which you have always thought in your mind. And that has an impact. Number one, we used to have what we call career guidance. And like today, we were celebrating Data Privacy Day. I think yesterday or in the course of the week, yes. Okay. And in KU, there is a program that is called information, diploma in information technology and records management. My question is, and now what we had discussed about BCom, Bachelor of Commerce, that people, the people in the School of Business, do they really know what is their ultimate destination in the career? Are you able to align yourself after the 2 years of formation towards the career destiny? Are we able to say there is a difference between accounting and finance? Because then there is a lady who came to our office and she said she has done economics and statistics. Then she had an exemption in CPA Section 1. And she says she's aspiring to be an accountant. So I asked her, what confirms that you are an accountant? And she says, I am passionate. Passionate must be confirmed by something.
Yeah.
So because you are an accountant, you have proved you have a professional qualification. So I am desirous to align our graduates towards the market expectations, and especially in the line of School of Business, so that we match the qualifications with the market and the career expectations, such that a person who has diploma in information and records management can see opportunity in the, we didn't have a data protection regulations
Back then.
Yeah. But who will be part of this? So as accountants, we have a program that is called Graduate Accountants Skills for Employability, which is an 8 weeks program that we mentor the graduates to align them, to sharpen their skills towards employability. So we go beyond what you studied. We go beyond the theory, and so we boost your self-confidence to face the market.
Right.
And once you face the market, with the confidence at the entry level, you'll be able to scale up and you're able to sustain. And then once you gain experience, now we talk of money. And the rest is history.
I like how that ended there. Once you get the experience, you get the money, and the rest is history. You'll never have to talk about the harsh economic times or the cost of living, because now that's history. You have the money, now you can focus on delivering your skill sets in the best of your ability. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Waweru. Mr. Martin Waweru is the managing partner at Nitram Accountants Africa. He has over 17 years of experience in managing and providing assurance, taxation, accountancy, financial and investment advisory, corporate governance, and much more within his capacity as CPA Martin. He's joined here by Ephraim Ochieng, who is from Kenyatta University and also a member of the Finance Society of Kenyatta University, who've been able to give them both to us this morning for a conversation on how the youth can survive these tough economic times and the ones that will follow after this one. If you missed any bits of it, it will be up on YouTube later, KUTV Kenya, that's where you get it at. And then these insights are helpful for you as an individual or a small business. Do let us know if there's anything you picked here, or if there's something more you'd like to hear from our guests, and then we can talk to them even outside of this conversation. Biashara Tuesday is going to take a short break. Of course, obviously, I need a cup of water after that heavy conversation, because another one also is coming up, a conversation on what is happening in the dailies, the decisions of the government, and also how that affects business. With my guest of the day, I'll be introducing them in a while, so don't go too far. We'll be right back.